Hello everyone, it's Ryan. I promised my friends I'd make a video today. There are a lot of things on mind. I like to sing. If those of you have heard me sing, if you like it, I really appreciate that. Like other politicians like to sing. I've seen John Ashcroft sing on TV. That was scary. um, Bill Clinton liked to play a saxophone. Someone else to play another organ of his. You know, that was his thing. Clinton joke. That's all right. But anyway, I want to talk to you about conservative politics again. Okay, there's a lot on my mind. I want to try to get it concise and break these points down. Okay. Now, in our city, we have the haves, the have-nots, good luck, no luck, and out of lucks. That's what we have here in Chattanooga. And we suffer under the burden of conservative politics. Okay? And we go back to this verse in Proverbs. I've quoted it. You should look it up, 14 and 31. If you oppress the poor and give gifts to your rich friends, you profane your maker. But if you're kind to the needy, you honor God. It says he, in the Bible. But let's make this principle gender neutral, because you got sons of bitches and scumbags and loveless jackasses of both genders. You got folks from our Chamber of Commerce calling us, people like myself, human capital. We have a national anthem that's written as a poem whose third stanza talks about, the terror of flight and the gloom of the grave, hireling and slave. Star Spangled Banner, it's written as a poem, 18 and 14. We sing the first stanza as our national anthem. Okay? Well, I don't want to sing over my demise as a hireling. I don't want to sing over the demise of people falling victim to the prison industrial complex. The 13th Amendment of the Constitution, which is important that we know this, slavery and voluntary servitude has been abolished in these United States unless you make it of a crime. You have the prison labor market, the Jim Crow laws, and what we had today, like what Tulsi Gabbard was jumping all over Kamala Harris for, just telling the truth. She's, that's why I don't like her, because she'll eat you alive if you're that evil. And that's why I don't want to talk about this local politics, but I want to make this one point. She dropped out of the race because she's about to get her butt whooped in California, her own state, by Bernie Sanders. Okay, because of the prison labor profits this candidate president and this senator was making. Not because her race, her ethnicity of Indian, Jamaican, multiracial person, under the auspice of being black, African American, but she's all that kind of stuff. Of course, there's, in gender and race, you've got Tulsi Gabbard, Polynesian. That's one woman of ethnicity. You got Elizabeth Warren, that's female. Klobuchar, Marianne Williamson. There are other females in the race. Okay, a woman of color, Tulsi. So you can't play this race gender card. It's not going to fly. You see. So I want to make that point right there. What's done is here over the mountaintops. People who do what's evil. This is the book of John 3:17-21. If they do what's wrong and evil deeds, they don't want it to come to the light unless it should be reproved. But everything that Kamala had done in her tenure as Attorney General, is coming to light. So if you run for president, the gloves are off. Okay, I want to make that point. Now, back to what's going on here. Now, what happens in conservative politics, okay, let's take the red state, blue state issue. The media wants to tell us we're a red state. We have Republican and Democratic politicians alike taking money from big business like the private equity firm. Then we have churches telling us to support these Republican politicians. We have media not giving us a full story and telling us to support Republican politicians and say that we are a red state. So manufacturing the consent as we, according to the third stanza of A Star Spangled Banner, singing over our own demise. The rich have triumphed over us, and we're supposed to salute this. Okay, the hireling and slave. Terrified, the gloom of the grave. We're running, we're going to die in this capitalist oppressive system. Okay? There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We're going to live and die in a capitalist system, and we're supposed to salute and sing over our own demise. No, I will not. Okay, so check this out. Okay, so let's hold all these thoughts in. Let's take where I live here, these apartments, $520 a month, so on and so forth. Most of the jobs that are left being created, $8, $9, $10 an hour jobs. Where can you live under that salary? Okay? Politicians want to tell us that we don't deserve a living wage. They're not going to support that because it's a conservative system. And we have churches and media telling us we're a Republican, vote and stay. But what happens when we vote Republican? Or some Democrats? What happens when we vote for who we're told to vote for? We got nuts like Bain Capital, that's Mitt Romney's group, and they're for president. Okay? What happened? They borrow money from a bunch of investors, assess that as debt, and collect fees and suck wealth like a vacuum cleaner. Like you ever see Spaceballs, Mega Maid, vacuum, and they're sucking all the fresh air off the planet with a vacuum cleaner? That is what they're doing. And what's happening is our job is hundreds of thousands of jobs, pensions, livelihoods are destroyed. The activities of private equity, outsourcing, NAFTA, PNT, TPP. Okay? We're getting screwed. Okay? This is what happens when you vote conservative. This is when you have pastors like Pastor Ronnie Phillips Jr. telling everybody that Trump has done more for Christians than any other president. If you actually tell the truth and tell your congregation, campaign contributions are bribes. They are not the blessings of God. They're the trappings of the enemy. The lavish, comfortable lifestyle of a preacher comes at what cost? Turning a blind eye to the criminal activity of the Israeli government toward the Palestinians. God is no respecter of persons. What I have called clean, you shall not call unclean. What the Bible says. I'm Jewish. God's Spirit is moving over at these other people's house. I don't want to go. God says, you will go. My son died for those people too. You get your butt over there. You see, conservative politicians teach only the parts of the Bible they want us to teach. You see, teaches for years about Israel betrayed God, and God said, I'm God and you're not. But we can't apply that to Israel today. That's just stupid. Okay, I'm digressing. But back here in local politics, it's all under the umbrella of conservative politics, is what this is. Okay? And the media never covering the whole truth as to the evil money men behind. Let's say, like, was it Chat City Suites? A bunch of disabled poor people thrown out of their houses because some rich motherfucker wanted to change the clientele so they could make more money. Ours wasn't good enough. But who is there to protect us? Who is there to stand in the gap for the poor? Who is there to stay businesses like Dollar General, McDonald's, Burger King, Erlanger, Sodexo, UTC? Pay a whole bunch of people $8, $9, $10 an hour, while they're worth billions, by the way, supported publicly. Okay, clean toilets, run the registers. And a politician reported by a bunch of jackasses that built high rises that many people downtown can't afford, to gentrify our area on the basis of race and economic situation. We have a two-tiered justice system, a two-tiered education system, and you take people who grew up in certain areas of the city, listen to them talk, and you can tell that their teachers did not teach them proper etiquette and diction, and they pass them on like it's okay. And then in other places where they do articulate properly. So the education system has failed us, and you have generations of people who are not educated properly and let people pass on. You see? Now listen with my ears, not to be racial or judgmental. I'm saying that the education system is two-tiered. This is conservative politics. This is where conservative pastors tell us to vote Republican because Republicans are conservative, conservatives are Christian by definition. No, a tree is known by its fruit, and they're rotten to the friggin' core. They're rotten. I'm running for mayor. There's a lot going on. I've covered a lot of ground in this video. I could spend hours just talking about all this stuff. People say, Ryan, you're jumping from subject to subject. Yeah, because the world is this complicated. You know, and there's a million things happening all one time. You can't put that in a soundbite. You can't put that in a 2-minute stump speech. You can't turn our problems into a soundbite. It's like with from the movie Patriot with Mel Gibson. We traded one tyrant 3,000 miles away and the 3,000 tyrants 1 mile away, and keeping up on all 3,000 tyrants from our government to our business and private sector who are working together to give us the foot up the ass and try to talk about all the forces working against us. You know, and how everything relates to one another. And we have to be able to assault this hydra, this behemoth, this beast with 1,000 tentacles and 1,000 heads. Walmart, Raytheon, the government at every level. Corporate media. You know, name the demons. Churches who tell us to vote Republican. People that tell us any blue will do. People who recruit and handpick the politicians for us, especially the Midwest Democrats. Okay? Pay your dues. Fall in line. Take oaths to the party. What happened to these people taking oaths to us? In private and in public. I will faithfully serve my constituents. I will not take big corporate donations. I will put the people before the party. I will never support any initiative that thwarts the will of the people, to their face or behind closed doors. I'll be content with my salary, and I will behave with honor and integrity. I acknowledge that campaign contributions are bribes, and I give the big middle finger to our maker, tell him to go F himself every time I take someone's house, every time I give taxpayer money to my rich friends and bulldoze homeless populations. I'm telling God on high what he can go do with himself every time I do that, and I acknowledge it's what I'm doing. I am profaning my maker every time I take public money to build something nobody wants, or where they can walk their dogs take a shit downtown while my constituents sleep on the street. Every time I do that, or to give taxpayer money to the developers who build those things, and yet we still have waterway problems. We still don't have enough food for the homeless, and food, and food that's not 3 weeks old when we give it out. When I do that, I oppress the poor, and I'm giving gifts to the rich friends of mine with $1,000 steak dinners at public expense. I'm giving gifts to my rich friends, and I'm telling God Almighty he can go blank himself. I acknowledge that, and I repent thereof. I would take, that's like winning $10,000 on a dollar scratch off ticket with 99 cents. The chances of that happening, but it's the truth. Churches are complicit. The media is complicit. The government's complicit. Our brains have been washed in the rinse cycle with Tide and hung out to dry like all of us. There are cash cows, and we're the cattle. I'm running for mayor of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I will tell the truth. Thank you.